Hi guys, it's Belle here and it is time for day 3 of hashtag Summerween Craft Along. This is a mini 13-day spooky theme challenge whilst we are in the heat of summer here in the UK. It is hosted by myself and the wonderful Toni from Crafty by Toni. Please do check out the description box below the video. That is where you will find all the information about this challenge, the links to Toni's channel, and also the link to my Kofi where you can get these prompts from. And if you're joining in, please do use that hashtag so that Toni and I and everyone else can see what you are making. So far, I have been so impressed what you guys are coming up with. Some wonderful makes out there. Yes, so do go and check those out. So today's prompts are stitches, the technique, and then the spooky prompt is trick or treat. And I have an idea in mind and I don't know if I can make it work. And there is a reason I'm not sure I can make it work, but I will talk about that in a minute, because yesterday's tag I just kept feeling was unfinished. So I did a teensy bit more work on it. I added a tab of some of the lace that wasn't inked up and dyed. And I also added a little bit of the lace that was dyed, as well as some of, let me show you, it's vintage tape measure, but it's a fabric canvas one with most of the numbers gone. So I just ripped and tore the tiniest script across there. Also, some of the script that I pulled off day one's make that was on the tape, I actually glued that down on there and I really love how that looks. I came in with a little bit of washi and I sanded over the top of that. I added a bulb pin because I like bulb pins and we use them a lot, but they also work with the idea of the lace for clothing. And these were just some beads that I have in a little box on my table. Really, I might want to swap them out for a different kind of bead, but we're going with this. And then I pulled in the word. It was actually Lost in the Darkness, one of the long Tim Holtz chipboard words. And I just took the and lost. So it's the lost because the prompt is lost and abandoned. And I used a sanding to go around the edges. And then I came in with my paintbrush and used a tiny bit of the walnut stain just to discolor it, so it almost looks the same color as the lace, but not quite. I think that's what it needed. And because I've used one of the chipboard pieces on this and on this, we may now be using chipboard on everything. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that because it just felt unfinished. Today, stitches and trick or treat. I've done a little bit of prep for this one because I had to do some stuff off camera because it took longer and needed time to dry. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make a pocket. This is going to go, oh, actually, I've backed this already with some grungy scraps again. I've gone around the edge in the walnuts stain. Again, sorry if you heard that. And then this is the piece I want to use. It's some Tim Holtz what they call backdrop papers. Now I'm actually going to put it on upside down because I want this bit at the top. I don't think that matters. I'm also going to come on with my scissors and I'm just going to distress this a little bit, like so, because I want to do something to the edge that I'm hoping, if I distress this, actually let's cut these off now. I can distress them. I'm hoping I can get this effect if this is more distressed. So we're going to do that. It's probably not the great way to use the scissors, is it? But we do what we do. And then I want to come on with a little bit of the walnut stain again, just to ink up those edges. So they're a little bit frayed, but they're also going to look aged rather than bright white. so much paper dust and fluff. And then I might also actually, I've come on with that, but I might come on with just a little bit of black soot. So I do have an idea in mind. I am hoping I can make it work visually in a way that actually brings what I'm thinking in my head. So what I now want to do is I'm going to come on with the Distress, the embossing pen, and I'm going to come on and go around these edges. I could actually use my ink pad, but we're going to use this. I'm going to see. I'm actually not going to do the top because we'll probably have a tab at the top, so I'm not going to do that because it might be a bit of a waste. And then I want to come on with the Vintage Photo Distress embossing glaze. Let's see. Oh my gosh, look at the mess I've made. I'm a messy embosser. Okay, let me clear this up. So there we go. I have embossed around it. And I'm hoping you'll get to see a little bit. You're not really getting to see much at all, are you? Okay. Trim this a little bit more. Oof. Do you know what? I think this tag's too small for what I want. Excuse me. I'm just going to grab that. Okay, so I trimmed that a little bit more, went around the edges again, and we're going to put that on there. Again, I don't care about the top as much because we are going to cover some of that up. Right, I want to put something at the bottom here. I just have to find it. Ah, there it is. So I make these walls. There is a Tim Holtz embossing folder that you can do this with, but I actually make my faux walls with a stencil and inks and texture paste. I do have a video, so I will link that down below if you want to go and check that out. But I want to bring in a little bit of the wall. Just, I want to say there. Maybe we do it on that side. Maybe we do it that side. I prefer it here. Let's do it here. That's where my eye's going. So that's what we're going to do. There is quite a bit in this that I don't know if it's going to work the way I want it to work. But I have a feeling this tag is too thin for what I want to do. But I'm going with it. This is the size of the tag. So, okay, I want that there. What I want to do is I'm going to hold this in place. Like so. And then I'm going to bring this in and kind of have it come up and ripped. Almost like it's wallpaper that's damaged, so that you see part of the wall. Well, exactly like it's wallpaper that's damaged. It's exactly what I'm going for. And I don't know why I'm doing this, because we're going to be doing something on here. So to pull in the idea of stitching, I am going to do two types of stitching. I am going to do machine stitching, and I'm going to do hand stitching. I've actually already done the hand stitching off camera because it took some time. Not too much time, but it was just easier to do off camera. Right, let's bring this on. Making sure I've got that border and that I'm over the wall a little bit. Yeah. Border, border, border. Let's press that down. Normally I wouldn't press that down. Normally I'd want it looking like it was coming up. However, oh, I just love that. However, I don't think that's going to work. It can work here. We can roll it up here. But it's not going to work. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. But it's not going to work for the down here. The reason being, so I've done all that work, I know, but the reason being is I'm going to come on and cut a little bit of a V out of this. And this is scary because I'm just doing it freehand and not even thinking about it. Like so. Oh my gosh, I could have completely ruined the whole thing. But come on with some ink. And I'm coming on with some of that lace. The lace we used on the last make. I'm going to come on with some of that. But I want it to be at, actually, where is my V that I just had? I thought I just put it beside me. Obviously, I didn't. I'm going to kind of trim this. First of all, let's get rid of this. And let's try and kind of roughly trim this. Yeah. Could actually cut a little bit more off. I don't want to lose that sort of flower bit. That's going to go there like that. I am actually going to go and machine stitch that now. I changed my thread back to the black one, and you can see I just did a zigzag. That's what it looks like from the back. I love that. Now we have to try and make... This is the bit that I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm going to use the exact same paper. I'm wondering about coming on with the blue. We're not going to see any of this, so it doesn't matter. And I have a frame. And I have made... where's my template? I've made a template for it. So this is roughly the size of this frame, because I need this bit to be bigger, just a little bit bigger than the frame. So I'm kind of roughly going to mark sort of here and sort of here. And this again is a Tim Holtz backdrop. I'm so tempted to have this side, this colour. We're really not going to see it. Now we're going to do this one. Oh my gosh. Right, I had it on here. And then roughly, yeah, there. Right, I'm going to cut that. As I say plenty of times, so technical. Why don't I just go straight to the edge? Were you guys saying that? Were you like, Belle, why don't you go straight to the edge? You're not using it. You're so right. Let's do that. Okay. Now, the thing I need to do is I need to put this on here. And then I need to come in with my scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, don't worry about that. You can just fold my scoreboard. Is this my new one in inches? It might be. Right, so what I want to do is I actually want to... That's not going to work. Let's do it that way for now. I actually want to do a fold, but I also want to do a little extra. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to the edge of that there, and then what I want to do is I want to come on, and there's one little dash here And I'm going to come in. So what's that? Like 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, like so. I need a little bit extra. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to come in about here, yeah. And then I'm going to come in with another little 1/4 of an inch. There is a reason I'm doing all of this. We put that there. I'm going to come in here. Hoping this is actually big enough for my tag. Not too big. And come in again. All right. So what I now need to do is to fold these, because firstly I need to make sure it's going to fit on my tag. I know this is not the colour we're going to have, but I'm folding it this way for the moment. Okay. Before I do any cutting or anything, I just want to bring my tag on. I mean, that goes right to the edge, doesn't it? That's okay. That's okay. I can live with that. All right, so we need to also then do the next fold too. I'm really hoping this is going to be thick enough, give me enough space. Because we're going to be putting a couple of tags inside here. And I need it to have enough space that they will both fit. All right, I'm going to trim this now. Like so. And let's trim this as well. Yeah. I really don't know if there's going to be enough room. Oh gosh, it's very scary. Right, so we have the main one there. Yeah. And then we need the other one. Are you gonna be thick enough? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And then cry when it's not. We won't. We'll just work with it. If I have to make more space, I will. Let's just have some fun. So we're making a little pocket to go onto here. Like so. Oh, so cute. Okay. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to bring this template. You can see I've put a T on there. So what I literally did was, I know this is going to be the top of my frame, so I just cut out a piece of paper knowing that that was the top, because I've actually trimmed this. This is a Tim Holtz chipboard frame, and I've trimmed it because it was far too big. And then you can see I've gone around it with what is it called? I have gone round it with sanding. I am going to draw a black line in here. Now, this has very little room for maneuver, but we're not cutting this whole size out. We're cutting it slightly smaller because you can see how chunky this frame is. Because if you're new here, and I know there's quite a few of you, hello and welcome. But I like two things in crafting. Well, lots of things, but two things that I really, really love in crafting is magnets. So you're going to see quite a few magnets. And the other thing is I like acetate or transparencies. That is indeed one of the prompts. I'm just going to cut this. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see this bit. So I'm cutting about 1/4 of an inch inside that line. And I'd rather do that and have to come in and trim a bit more than, because I don't like to measure, than do it too near the edge and then go, oh no, it's not enough, or it's too much. Okay, let's have a look. This is going to go onto here and we can see, oh look, see, that's good. That's actually good. All right, what I want to do with this is exactly what I did with those words on yesterday's tag. Now, you're not supposed to do this, but I'm going to. You're not supposed to do this with your inks if you're new to crafting. But I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm using the walnut stain. I could just put it down that way, because you aren't supposed to get it on your paintbrush. And I'm coming in around these edges with that. There's probably a much easier way you can do this, but that is what I'm doing. Adding a bit more water. I was even wondering about some Stabilo. This just all needs to dry on here. I just need it a little bit grungy looking, because there's going to be decoration. There's going to be, I want the things on the inside to stand out, and I may add some stuff on the outside. So it's just to grunge it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to dry that. So I decided there wasn't enough once I dried it. So I'm actually going to come in and I'm just going to run my frame over my ink pad and get very messy fingers in the process and do that instead. And I think I prefer that. All right, let's try that now. That will do. I've also got to decide if I want to keep it as chunky as it is. I think I do. So the next thing is I have a piece of the Tim Holtz, what's this called? Here it is, Transparencies. It's from this pack, which is Halloween 2024, but I know he brought out other transparencies. TH9444, 40 and then 4, so 404. TH94 404. That'll work better. And I had this little scrap, and I was like, yeah, that's got to go on here. That has got to go on here. Now, I'm putting it on the outside of the frame, like so. And I've just realised, firstly, if you're using something glossy and shiny, please do smush your glue before you put it down. I say it all the time because you will get seepage and that can be quite a nightmare. Do you know what? I think I can trim a little bit of this. Sorry, it's already got some glue on it. That's all right. Let's trim a little bit. And stick that back down like so. Perfect. Perfect. Just wondering if I want to come on and ink the edges beforehand, because I'm wondering if it would be easy to do with that on there. So I'm obviously not just wondering about it, I'm doing it. Oh, I make myself chuckle. Well, I've got to make someone chuckle, haven't I? Okay, right. That might be quite far down. I'm going to put this on there. Yes, I love that. Okay, okay, okay. That's good. Now, I need to work out where this is going to go. And there's a reason for that. I have this, obviously the other prompt is trick or treat. So I have this, it's a Tonic Studios trick or treat die. Where is the... Is it this 1863E? I'm just going to leave that up there. Don't know. So I got that out because obviously it says, guys, trick or treat. So we have to have something. And I've cut it out in exactly the same card that I've used for my tags. And I'm going to come on and just kind of ink a little bit around it. Not too much, but a little bit. I'm not even sure how much of this inking you'll see, because it's time for one of my other favourite items. Can you guess? Can you guess? It's an embossing powder. So I'm using my embossing pad, which I have the Versamark one. And I have the Glow in the Dark Wow Regular Embossing Powder. It's WN01R. Take bets, guys. Is this going to go missing during this challenge? Because those of you who've been around my channel for quite a while will know that I tend to use this a lot. And you can bet in nearly every challenge I'm using it, at some point during that challenge, it goes missing. It's just crazy. So, take your bets. Do you think it's going to go missing? Right, I'm going to heat emboss this. It doesn't look like much now. It just looks a slightly different colour, just one tone deeper than the paper. But at night, or when it lights up, so I'm going to put the frame roughly where I think the frame's going to be, because, well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to come on with Toni's Fox in Detail CBT 0049. I've used them on one of the other bits of this make, so I thought I'd put it in here as well, just to give, a lot of this background's going to be covered up, but this bit is going to be a little bit visible. So come on, my VersaFine Vintage Sepia again. I just love those so much. I honestly do. I mean, again, if you've been here any length of time, you'll know that favourite stamp that I have. And it's like, all of a sudden, I have many of them that are dotty and foxing and all that, which is, I just love it. I love that distressed foxing look. And it doesn't even have to be like book foxing. That's not how you need to use these. You can, obviously, that's what they're for. But I like to use them, as you see, just to add a little bit of grunge of some sort, like distressing on a wall. Right, we're going to bring this back in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this Trick or Treat to the back of this paper. So basically, when I remove the tags, you're going to be able to see this. I need to really glue this well. You're going to be able to see this in the back for the Trick or Treat. We're adding another element for the Trick or Treat, but you know. And also, if you then put it up to the light, it is going to glow, giving an eerie kind of effect, which, because it's quite kind of blended into the background, I love it, then it's going to have that kind of effect. Right, I need to now glue this onto here. I need to make sure I have that little hinge and I'm gluing the right way. So let's do it. This is scary. It's so scary. And not in the fun, spookish Halloween way. Just scary, scary, scary. I don't know. I don't know if both are going to fit in here because, yes, guys, I have 2 tags and I will explain why. Well, I haven't made the whole tags yet, but I will have 2 tags for this. Sorry. I like to, again, if you're new here, when I glue something, I like put glue on something. I like to dab it off on my glue book because I like it to not be too much glue on an item, because then you're just spending ages taking the glue off. I've just realized you're going to see part of that. Oh no. Okay. This is glued, but that's all right. I need to trim it so you don't see it. That one should be okay. Let's just trim this a smidge. Should have thought about that. But it's all right. We can make it work. And now I'm going to glue it again. Right, it is re-glued. Now let us get it stuck down. Okay, about here. Let's stick that. Come on. This is going to be interesting because quite a lot of it is going to be stuck on the lace and there's nothing behind the lace. But why worry about that? It will still stick. Oh my gosh. Come on. I'm just trying to get it straight-ish. I mean, it's spooky, so. It's just scarily bad. No. Oh, the heat is getting to me, guys. The heat and the spookiness. All right, now I'm going to come in with my bone folder because I want to really just press all those edges down flat inside this. So we're going to be, oh my gosh. Oh no, that wasn't stuck very well. Now stick. Oh no, I've lost the, are you kidding me? I've lost the K. The bottom half of the K to trick or treat. Come on, out you come. Thank you very much. Okay, and let's, okay, the K. Again, the heat is getting to me. I apologise profusely, but also, you know, it is what it is. Perfect. Let's press that down. Right, so that needs to dry. But we have our tag. Now, the start of our tag. I feel like that might not be straight, but I could just be looking at it wonky. Who knows? Now I need to glue this on top. And again, I need to make sure I get all those edges. And then we're going to work on the tags that are hopefully, fingers crossed, everyone keep your fingers crossed for me, are going to fit inside. Because if they don't, I'm not going to get the effect that I want. Again, a lot of glue on there, and I'm just going to smush it off onto my glue book. And then I need to position this just right. Oh my gosh, please be big enough for 2 tags, please. I'm really hoping it's going to be right. Okay, we're going to leave that to dry because it needs to, although we are going to need it a little bit. But now for the 2 tag bits. So what I'm trying to create is the effect of a lenticular photo or painting. So in my mind, I'm in the attic, I've gone through the box, I've found the bit of lace and maybe some letters. Well, I've got the letter in the mail to tell me about this house. Now the story's coming together. I'm basically thinking like I've been asked to go in and clear out this house because someone wants to buy it to refurbish it and stuff. And no one's been in there for many years because it's got a reputation for being haunted. And so I've been asked to go in and go through it, clear everything, get it all ready for others to come in, just to see if there's anything in there that might be worth something. And I've gone into the attic because that's where a lot of the stuff is. So I got my midnight mail, and then I'm in the attic. One of the boxes I found is grungy and dirty and horrible, and in there I found some lace and an old faded photograph. And now as I'm looking around the attic, I'm going to find this painting, this portrait of 2 little girls. But this portrait seems to shift like a lenticular image. And when it shifts, it goes from these 2 somewhat cute little girls, still give me a bit of creepy, into very creepy images. Now, this is a Tracy Fox from Crafty Haul, Curious Case of Crafty Haul. I'm pretty sure this is an Art House Whimsy. These can come off now. And normally I would have something that was transparent, which this is, show completely. But I didn't want to do that with this one because I wanted to add stitching. So can you see I've added little crosses for their eyes, and then this one had lines anyway on its mouth, so I came in and added lines. I also added some alcohol inks to the back of the acetate to give it this, well, it's two effects. One, it looks damaged, but secondly, these images for some reason remind me of like The Wicker Man or some sort of horror movie like that. I don't watch a lot of horror movies now. And so this yellow and brown makes me think of autumn and sun and burning haystacks. So that's what I'm going for. And the two colours of alcohol ink, in case you want to know, is I used Dijon and I used caramel. And I came in with the Dijon first and then added the touches of caramel. So I've added stitching onto their creepy little faces. And then on the pretty girls, I added some French knots to almost look like little flowers on their dresses. I tried to pick a thread that matched the colour of their dress, but stood out enough. Oh, that's going to go in. We're going to have to trim some of that though. But stood out enough that you could see it. So I'm using stitching, as I said, in a couple of different ways. I want to be able to see their faces, so I'm going to bring it down to here because we need to be able to see their faces. And I'm going to trim this. And then that's going to have to go on something. I might just add it onto tea stain paper. If I can find some thicker tea stain paper, I might do that because this one is on the Tim Holtz card. Creepy. Just love me some creepy. Okay, let's see if I can find, because I was going to put it on card, but I have a feeling if we have that in there, will we be able, do you know, we will be able to. What I was worried about is because these are French knots, they're quite chunky. So let me get some paper rather than card for the girls. What I decided on was tea stained index card. And the girls are going to have to go onto here. We're going to have a little bit showing. That is not a problem. So let's trim that. So hopefully it gets this kind of image. And I'm just going to catch it out of the corner of my eye. But whenever I look at it, it's just the girls. What am I talking about? That there's something creepy going on? No, definitely not. And then I look again and it's like, no, just out the corner of my eye, they seem to change into horrible, creepy things. Oh, it brings me so much joy. So this is how I wanted to attempt it. And as I said, I've added the stitching in two ways. I've used the machine stitching and then I've added actual hand stitching. It is always challenging to do French knots on paper. Now I use matte photo paper, so it's quite thick anyway, but it's still super challenging to do French knots on this rather than on fabric, because if you pull too hard, and with a French knot you do have to pull quite hard or firmly, paper can rip super easily and then you just end up with a mess. So yeah, but that's why I did it off camera. Oh, and I had the perfect thread. I mean, I've been cross stitching for years, so I've got a large selection of embroidery floss. So you know, it's not a surprise, but I was so happy with just how well it did fit. I'm trying to be super careful because, again, I don't want to squish those French knots. I was just so happy with how well it did actually match the girls' dresses. Oh, I don't know. Oh, no. Do you know why that was? Because I tried to trim it. when it wasn't ready because it was still a little dry. I'm going to come on with my corner rounder. Rounding corners just makes them easier when you're putting them in and out of an item, of a pocket. Also, I just like the way it looks. But yeah, it does make it easier. So this is going to fit. This is why I have to be careful with the trick or treat. Is it down far enough, or do we need it further? That is what I have to ask myself. Oh, do I need to cut it a little bit more? Oh, so frustrating. Cut it and then round it. This is why you should measure. But where's the fun in that? Huh? It's less frustrating, but where's the fun? Okay, so the girls are going to go into here. That's better. I see their little beautiful faces. Oh, such pretty girls. Look at their little dresses. All full of flowers and prettiness. Oh my gosh. What is this? Right, now these need to go about here. We're going to lose a load of that down there, which is frustrating. But also I do want the back. Really, I just want their faces. So maybe that's okay. Hold on. Let's trim this. I know what I'm saying in my head. You guys might not know. But I know what I'm saying. I love those lenticular ideas, but some just don't work as well as others, do they? This is quite chunky. Let's see if it fits. Oh, and you just see the bat. I am beyond happy. I can't even tell you. Now we need to work out, are we going to be able to see it? Both of them together. Okay, here we go. Creepy. Not creepy. Oh, it does. It fits. Thank goodness there's a little hole up there because that can go even further down. Hold on. How far down is it? Oh, perfect. See the bat. Why are you now not wanting to go in? You just went in. Am I putting it in the wrong place? Huh. I know why. I think it's getting caught there. That's all right. There we go. There's our pretty girls. There's going to be something on the top of that and then something on the top of that. Oh, I'm so sorry for all the noise. It's ridiculously hot. Hot, 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 hot. So I have the window open. But that also means that people are just being annoying. Right, so this, I could glue it. I could stitch it. I may stitch it. Also, I'm going to round the edges of this. And I'm going to add something to it. I don't know what yet. I'm so happy with this. So we're going to come back to that. And now, down here, I have the little Tim Holtz thing. Now, one of my cats, Binks, yes, many of you will know the very famous Binks because she's a nightmare with my crafting stuff. She chewed this ages ago. But the thing is, I kind of love the way it looks. So, waste not, want not, guys. And a big thank you to Binks. I do not advise that you let your cats just chew your chipboard. I don't think that's very good for them. But, you know, it's a design thing. So, thank you, Binks. And I'm thinking about putting Wicked just down there. Or over to the side. Thinking about doing that. Okay, I'm not just thinking, I'm going to do it. Oh my gosh, I closed my window a minute ago. My table is right beside the window and I closed it because there was so much noise outside. But yeah, I can't function. So that's not going to work. Right, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did in the other one. Oh, do we want to actually add some embossing to this actually? Let's see. Wicked. I just kind of want it there. I want it to fade a little bit. And also I don't want to take up too much of that yummy lace because that's part of the stitching that we have done. So that is going to go there. Let's glue that down. I could put some black thread underneath it. Where's my black thread? Oh no, do you know what I want to do? Oh, just had a thought, we are going to emboss. Alright, let's do it along this side and along here and here and here. But I want to come in with the glow in the dark embossing because then Trick or Treat and Wicked will glow. Oh, which I kind of love. That's too much over the Wicked. So where is my paintbrush? Let's grab a paintbrush because we want to actually be able to read that it says Wicked. So just do that. Oh, we're going to have it glow in the dark. All right, I don't actually know how well it will glow in the dark. I know this embossing powder, which I've had years, by the way, it glows really well, but I don't know if there's enough on here. If there's not, I'm going to come on with my embossing pen. What? Oh, should I? No, I'll do it here. I'm going to come on with my embossing pen and add more. That's what I'm going to do. And thank you very much, Binksy, for making this so chewed and strange. Look, my cat's helping. She's so bad with paper. I have to be so careful. Okay, now what I need to do is I really need to work out. Sorry, I could see a little bit of the thing there. I really need to work out what I'm going to put on these because this needs something across the top. I do have washi, so I could bring on some washi. I'm just grabbing some. Just want to see which one. Oh, actually, I've got this. I think this is Tim Holtz one. Got that black one. Also got this black and orange one. Kind of like the black one. I don't even know if this was the original one. I have many of the washies and they kind of all just get used randomly and then put wherever it is that I find a space for them. So just going to glue this down. Oh, and in the background, just in case you didn't see that, I used that foxing stamp, which is why I've also brought it on in the background with the Trick or Treat as well. Now, I know this is washi, so it should be fine to stick. However, as I am sticking it to a transparency, I don't really, let's just pull that around the edge. I don't really want to risk just putting the washi on as is. I want to actually bring that in. Oh, I've got a little bit of this one too. So yeah, let's bring this one in as well. Now this should be all right, but I'm still going to glue it. A little bit of glue. And then we're going to sand the washi. Oh my gosh, don't move. It's stuck to my fingers. I've got too much glue on my hands. Oh my gosh. Behave yourself, washi. Stop being naughty. Okay. Right, where did my sander go again? Do I keep putting it away? No, it's here. Right, I need to make sure that's really well down before I start coming in and just sanding that. So we're going to do that just to distress it a little bit. Let's trim that bit off. Now, on the back of here, because it is just plain paper, you could write on the rest of here as well, but I think I'm going to come on with this little, this is a scrap from yesterday's paper. And maybe that too. Okay, we could do it like that. Let's do that so that you can write on the back of here. Yay! Oh, it's a bit messy on my table right now. Don't like it. Let's do that. Oh my gosh, I did it the other way. That's all right. Doesn't matter which way around it is. I could actually do it this way up, actually. Why have I got that on there? That's sticky. Right, and let's just ink around this. Might as well use the weird scrap that we have. Don't waste it. I mean, it's not like, I'm sure most of us, it's not like we're running out of scraps, is it? But it's just nice to use them up if we're using them in the piece itself. I'm thinking about coming across here because I think it will pull in the front to the back. That's what I think. So let's do it. Plus I have this washi on my table. And who knows when I'll be able to get more Tim Holtz washi. Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. Right. And the other reason I'm doing that is this can still move, but we want that bit not moving because if we're putting it in here, I don't want the girls getting caught on it. The girls. Like we know them. Where did I want it black go? Now I'm going to add lace, I think, onto here. I was wondering about coming on with words and things. I mean, I don't know. I keep looking, making sure that the French knots are okay. Sorry, I pulled that right up to my face, and you're probably like, I didn't see anything, Belle. Maybe we come on with the washi again. Maybe just this one across the top. Yep. Now this should be fine on here. And I am going to put some lace, so that shouldn't be an issue. For the stitching, obviously, and where's my sander again? Sand that down so it looks a bit distressed. Right, now I have lace. Let me just clean this. Okay, we've done that. Now, like I said, I have some lace. I have this, which is really lovely. And I'm thinking of adding that onto here. Sorry if you can hear some noise. There's people in the background. Neighbours. Right, let's actually trim that down. I want to add that onto the girls, onto there. I might actually double it up because I cut that piece off, so we could just add it on top, couldn't we? We don't need to. We don't need to. It's going to have something on there anyway. And on the back of here, do we want to come in with some of this lace, which is from the front, which is similar to the one on the front, or do we just want both of them to have that lace? We could just want both of them to have it. Might add a few other bits with it. That's cute, cute. Let's have a look at what I've got. Looking at my little scrap box. This is cute, this is cute. It's really frayed. It's cute. So we could just add some of these. Again, I have to be careful I'm not adding too much stuff, because where did that other piece go to? Can you see it? Aha, it went back in the box. It was like, don't use me. Leave me in the box for another day. I'm afraid not. You must come with me. Okay, I'm going to go stitch these now. Okay. So we have those. That is going to go in here. Like so. Creepy with our little bat. And then our girls are going to go in on top of that. And so it looks like a double lace. And then if I added actually another bit of lace to the top, it would look like triple lace. Oh, I've got to go do that. I have to do that immediately. And I think I'm going to pull in a bit of this lace with it as well. All right, and there we go. That's on there. Then we're going to put them both into here. And yeah, this one can be there. That one can go down a bit further. So we have this kind of triple lace effect at the top. So we've got lots of stitching. Now the final touch that I may or may not add, we're going to see how I feel about it, is I was thinking of adding some flowers onto here. I've got both my rust flowers, but I also have these. Now they're just cut out of a piece of, you know when you're making jelly plate prints and you have your roll-on page that kind of takes when you're rolling off the brayer? Well, I had a fun one and it had these kind of colours on it and I thought they kind of worked. So that's what I'm thinking, is some of these. I can have a little rusty one. I thought I had another one that was not rusty, but was indeed, again, part of the... It's actually on the back of an old cover of a music book. Do you know what? I love that. I actually love it because the colours pick up some of the colours in the lace and everything. This is getting struck down. This is actually worked out almost exactly like I imagined it, which is so fun because sometimes you can imagine something and it doesn't work out. It may be better, sometimes it's not, but when you have an image in your head, the only thing I would say is I think this tag's too small. That is the only thing I would say. Oh, I like that. And again, it just kind of blends, but that's okay. That's exactly... I don't want it to be too in your face because there's a lot happening right now. And then, oh, well, I've got another one of Toni's little things, like the music thing. Toni, I saw those on her channel. I think she was gifted some in some Happy Mail. And then she made some. And then I made some. And then I use them all the time. And I do have a little, if I didn't want to use that, I do have a little rust flower. Oh, the flower, guys. But we're going to need a brad in it. Yes, we are. What kind of brad? Just a normal rusty one? Or not rusty, but like metally kind of one. Let's press that down. I'm going to have to trim off some of these brads. I'm just going to do that over the bit. All right, that is cut off. And now do we want a little bit of black thread just behind the flower and everything? Just to, again, bring on that idea of stitching. Yes, yes we do. Right, let's just put a big bit of glue down there and then we can set the thread on top of it and sort of maneuver it so that we think it looks nice. And then I come on with my flower, my rusted flower and brad. Oh, the only thing I'm wondering, I'm just wondering if the frame's too boring, but I think there's a lot going on. Let's actually, right, I'm going to bring in the Stabilo in just a few places. This is the Stabilo all. It didn't, It was fuzzy in the last one, but there we go. I'm just going to bring it on in a few places. That needs to glue. I mean, crypt paste would look great as well, wouldn't it? Do I want to do that? Let's really move that down. Again, it looks very scarily black when you first do it, but it dries a kind of grey. You build up the layers of the pencil. And then you can just kind of come on with the brush, like so. And just kind of maneuver it. I am wondering about just the tiniest little bit of crypt paste just in that corner. I've got the one that's really dry here, so let's do that. That corner that I just put the Stabilo, just a little bit in that corner of the frame. Now, because this is quite dry, that is why I'm coming on with my finger. Because as I said when I was doing the box video, I'm not wasting it. I love this paste. I didn't even show you. The grit paste in Crypt. And when it dries, it goes this kind of green colour rather than the grey. Just in case you haven't seen it, which I'm sure you have. But yeah, I will have to get my other one out soon. I'm trying to texture that a little bit. Okay. And it's not quite dry yet, but let's come on in. What's this? This is forest moss. I don't want the forest moss. Maybe the walnut stain. All right. And it will. Where's my paintbrush gone? I've literally just had it. You guys saw me with it. And that's kind of going to pick up, it will dry, but it's going to pick up the rust colours down here and give that kind of rust look as well. As if there was something metal on this frame that has decayed and rusted away and left this weird mottled kind of look to it. Right, let's do that. I've got to be careful it doesn't go on the acetate. Okay, I'm just going to dry that a little bit, but obviously be careful if you're using acetate. What I thought I'd also come on with is some of my Winsor Newton gold, because we've got this kind of bronzy colour here, which is a different colour to this gold, but I'm hoping with the walnut stain, not walnut stain, with the what's it called, vintage photo, that it will just darken it enough that it will give it more of this kind of look. Just a little bit there. Guys, I mean, that needs to dry too, but what do we think? It's finished. Okay, so stitches. I've stitched with the machine. I've done French knots and stitching with the bit underneath, and trick or treat. We see this photograph. It may look a little bit decayed, but you know, but then the photograph seems to shift. And instead of the two cute little girls that we saw, we see these creepy monsters that have also got stitching. But guys, is it just a trick? Or are they a treat? I am so happy with how this came together. I love the interactive elements. I love the different types of stitching. Yeah. I am so happy with this piece, which is great because that's what you want to be when you make something. Let me know what you think down below. And I will put a picture here so you'll be able to see what it will look like with the glow-in-the-dark elements. In case you're like, but Belle. And obviously we cut a chunk out of the tag, which is not something I've really done before, and used the lace. That needs to be frayed more. It's too perfect. Used a little scrap of my wool, the Tim Holtz piece, and then these flowers, which, oh, just love. I love there's a crack in there as well. Crack in the painting. What's trying to get out? But that's it for now, guys. And yes, I'm super happy now with how this one looks. And this one, we're getting a kind of grungy vibe. And I'll be back again soon with another video. But until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, firstly, don't forget to go check out Toni's video. She will be uploading later this evening. I always upload at 10 AM roughly, or morning time, British time. And she usually uploads in the evening, sort of around 7:30. So hit that notification bell so that you are made aware when our videos go up. Don't forget to use the hashtag #SummerWeCraftAlong. If you haven't grabbed your prompt list yet but want to, head over to my Kofi or to Toni's where you can download it. And yes, I think that's everything. Really hope you enjoyed this one today, guys. Took a while to get there, but I am so happy with how it turned out. I'll be back again soon for another video, but until then, wherever you are in the world, from me and the creepy twins, I hope you're having lots and lots of spooky, crafty fun. Bye for now.